Last year, former FBI Director James Comey uploaded a photo to his Instagram account. It was a picture of seashells he found while walking on a beach, arranged in the sand to spell out the numbers 8647. Shortly after, he deleted it, but the president had already seen it. In an interview with Fox News, Donald Trump claimed that 86 was slang for kill, and 47 was a direct reference to him as the 47th president. He told the network, "That meant assassination, and it says it loud and clear." Because of those seashells, Comey is now facing his second federal indictment in 5 months. If convicted of threatening the president, he could face up to a decade in federal prison. The friction between these men goes back years. Comey was fired by Trump in 2017, right in the middle of the Bureau's investigation into whether the Trump campaign colluded with Russia to sway the 2016 election. Taking an opponent to federal court over a beach photo is highly unusual. It reveals a collapse of the post-Watergate norm that the Justice Department operates entirely independent of the White House. To understand how we got to this new indictment, we have to look back at September. The Justice Department charged Comey with making false statements to Congress and obstructing a congressional proceeding. That case fell apart by November. A federal judge threw it out entirely, ruling that the specific U.S. attorney who brought the charges against Comey had been unlawfully handpicked by the president. For this new April indictment, Comey has entered a formal plea of not guilty. He stated the shells were simply an assumed political message he spotted on a walk, adding that he opposes violence of any kind. The failure of that first case in November exposed a vulnerability in the administration's legal strategy. Pushing a legally fragile case through the system required the right personnel in place to sign off on it. This chart shows the Justice Department's chain of command. Career prosecutors at the regional level serve as a vital buffer, evaluating evidence before moving forward with charges against citizens. The interim U.S. Attorney for the Eastern District of Virginia, Eric Siebert, looked at the seashell post and determined there was insufficient evidence to charge Comey. Shortly after telling DOJ leaders his conclusion, Siebert stepped down. Another Virginia prosecutor, James Hunley, who was briefly appointed to the role, was also fired, removing another layer of institutional resistance. Finally, the president installed a loyalist. Todd Blanche, his former personal lawyer, stepped in as acting attorney general. With Blanche directing the agency, the indictment over the Instagram photo was secured. This rapid series of firings shows exactly how the institutional firewall is bypassed. If a prosecutor refuses to pursue a weak case, they are removed and replaced until someone agrees to push the paperwork. Comey's legal battle is one piece of a much larger strategy to penalize perceived enemies. Just days before the September charges against Comey dropped, the president publicly slammed then Attorney General Pam Bondi. He openly criticized her for killing our credibility by failing to take aggressive action against his political rivals. By contrast, officials who do advance these prosecutions are publicly praised. The president recently lauded the FBI's Kash Patel specifically for his role in driving the new Comey indictment. The administration has actively purged government officials deemed disloyal, targeted law firms involved in past cases against the president, and pulled federal funding from dissenting universities. What started as a grievance against specific political opponents has expanded. The executive branch is now actively deploying federal power to discipline entire dissenting institutions. Comey will fight this second indictment in federal court, labeling the charges a vindictive, selective prosecution. Legal experts are highly skeptical of the DOJ's case. They point to the administration's reliance on expired statutes and note that prosecuting a year-old beach photo as a direct federal threat is highly irregular. But the strength of the evidence might not actually matter. The real goal here is the chilling effect. Intelligence officials, lawmakers, and potential whistleblowers are watching this unfold. They now know that speaking out against the administration could result in a decade-long federal indictment. Whether a jury eventually convicts James Comey or acquits him is beside the point. The grueling, expensive, and highly public process of federal prosecution is the punishment itself. It signals that the Justice Department can now be weaponized to silence anyone who stands in the way.